Hello and welcome to the Warren Buffett podcast with Matthew Warren-Katz and Steve Buffett. Steve, how you doing today?
Doing fine, I guess. Could use a vacation, to be honest.
I was just thinking the same thing. I could also use a vacation. I spent like 2 hours today getting fucked over by sequel, and I was just like, how is this happening to me at this point? It was very frustrating.
Yeah, that's a long time. I usually try to keep mine under 45 minutes a day.
Yeah, I had to move a join. I had to move something from a wear clause into the join, and that fixed it. And I was like, I don't even fuck this. I should have remembered that. Felt real
Aren't there
dumb.
computers that can do that for you? Come on.
That's the thing that I keep thinking is like, how are we not gonna be automated? Like, I keep being like, how do we still need? It's just weird to me that people need to do stuff still. I feel like we should get there. But
It
till
really
then,
is, man. It's all just kind of made up, like going to work, going to an office. If you're working a white collar job, like you're not really needed,
maybe.
or you won't be soon enough.
Nah, not if I have anything to do with it. But until then, gonna keep working, just hoping for vacation. When do we get like a day off? Is like Columbus Day soon or something? When is that?
No, that's in October, but
Fuck.
yeah, that's still kind of
It's
wild.
pretty far away.
Yeah, that's okay, dude. Like October's a good holiday to take a vacation in, except for Columbus because he died that day or in October.
Is that why we have it in October to celebrate him dying or what?
Oh no, you're right. Okay, so here's a story. He was born somewhere between August and October, and I think we just picked October to celebrate his birthday.
Okay. Well, so yeah,
There's a there's a there's a wide range of when he was born.
I see. So Christopher Columbus, that's our guy.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet
Cristoforo
portrait.
Colombo. That's way
Yeah,
cooler. Why don't we call him that?
we can.
This photo of him is very Photoshopable. Like, you could definitely make him do like a gang sign with that.
Yeah, this is all from Kanye's new line.
Dude, guy's hand is enormous. Look at that. Look at that compared to his face. It's so big.
Yeah, you remember that like grade school joke of like if your hand is bigger than your face, then you had cancer, and then you put your hand up and you get smacked. I bet you got smacked all the time.
I bet he invented it. He was like that was what he's famous for, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's why we celebrate it every year.
It was like the most boss joke ever.
Nah,
Didn't he get taken back to Spain in chains or something? Was it because he did that to like the wrong dude?
yeah, he did that to he's got kind of an interesting story. Maybe we should talk about him today.
Tell me. Okay, I don't really know much about him other than
Yeah, what do you know?
I knew that he had a giant hand. I know he went back to Spain in chains. I remember reading about that, and I feel like, I mean, he's the reason that Native Americans like us, right? That's why they like America, cause
Yeah, yeah, that's totally it.
okay, that's all I know. What do you think I should? Oh, and
Yep.
1942, he and Hitler, same, because it's
Nope.
1492. Get it? Yeah, I don't know much about him, as you can tell.
All right, we can do a little history lesson. Why don't I tell you a bit about him and you can ask questions?
Okay, sounds good. Do you need me to like scroll through his Wikipedia or?
Yeah, why don't we start at the beginning?
Okay. Do you want
His
to
early life.
read some stuff about him, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'll just kind of like go through and we'll do like, there are pictures kind of like throughout. I think that'll help guide the audio, all of our listeners.
So is this when he sold the first child into slavery, or what is this photo?
This is his hands getting enormous, and you see how they're marveling at them.
I see. Is this him? This is him as a child, where they said, "Look at this. His hands, like those look like hands to me, but for the child, they're so small. I mean, they're so big." And they were like, "Oh fuck, send him across the world." Oh, I know also that he was trying to get to India, right?
Yeah.
Dumbass.
So I really needed to know about, like him growing up as kind of that photo, like, oh, he had hands, and then that's kind of all we really knew about him. And then so he grows up and really, he really comes into the picture of like world history when Europe wanted to basically do trade with I think it was the East Indies. So basically, they wanted to get to like Asia, parts of Asia to do trade. Um, and so, you ever see the show Shark Tank?
Yes, it was like that, I assume.
Well, it was like him pitching his idea to get to the other side of the world was basically him going to different royal courts, and it was like Shark Tank. Like he'd be like, "Look, guys, I'm telling you, if we keep going west far enough, we'll make it there." And every single person who did the math, and at this time pretty much everyone had done the math. If you were a European country, you were like, no, like you'd run out of food and water. We've calculated like how far in nautical miles it would be to get there, and you would definitely not make it. And so Portugal's like, fuck off. And he's like, all right, fuck you. And he takes his idea to Spain. And what's kind of interesting about Spain
So this is
is
kind of
that
like when Mark Cuban rejects your thing, and you have to go to like Mr. Wonderful, and he's like, "How about a deal in perpetuity?" And that's Spain, right? Portugal is Mark Cuban. Mr. Wonderful is Spain. Am I hearing you correctly?
yeah, or crowdsource, like a lot of people
Okay.
like fail Shark Tank and go straight to crowd. Well,
Oh,
anyway,
so
so he goes to,
Portugal's just to raise awareness about it. That what do they call that? The Shark Tank effect. I get it now. I get it. This is making more sense. You're
yeah, it's
putting
like
it
you
in
pitch
terms
your
I
ideas all
understand.
over town to the big firms, and suddenly, you've caused a buzz out of nothing.
Yes, I'm in.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
his
So
buzz
that's
was,
cool.
I'm gonna go to India or
Yeah,
China.
he wanted to reach Asia, like I think what's now considered like the Philippines and around there.
What did they want? Like salt?
And
What were they trying? Spices? Textiles?
spices. Yeah, pretty much exactly.
The fuck's a
So
textile?
it's like wool or like different types of cloth, I think.
Okay, so that's
It
like
doesn't matter.
okay. Wow.
Yeah. So Constantinople fell. What's interesting is you kind of have to place this in terms of like world history. Like Constantinople falls to I think the Ottomans, and then like the spice trade
Oh, is
pretty much like
Istanbul?
falls apart like right before his idea to pitch to Spain.
Okay.
And Spain just defeats like one of the Muslim empires that was in Spain for I think hundreds of years doing battle with the Spanish, and so Spain kicks them out in like 1491, and then they're like, all right, cool, now we got all this water and we got to explore shit. So what's going on? So send in the people to talk to the sharks, and so yeah, he comes to Spain and basically like the advisors to the throne were like, no, 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 like Portugal rejected him for a reason. Like you
Hmm.
can't do this. And then one of the advisors goes, nah, I would totally do it, or he's going to pitch this idea and we're going to lose out to someone
So
else.
so basically, he had exhausted the friends and family funding, and the banks told him no, so he had to go on Shark Tank to get textile and salt. Is that what I'm hearing?
Uh, yeah. So basically, you could go like around the Horn of Africa, right, to the south. Because the Suez Canal didn't exist, so you could either like go all the way around Africa, and that's how you get over there, or you could. That was basically it,
Okay.
because the land routes were done. And so yeah, he was like, "Listen, guys, listen, John the Second of Portugal. Like, what do you think?" And John's like, "Fuck off." And so yeah, he goes to Spain, talks to the Spanish crown, Ferdinand and Isabella, and they're like, all right, you're in. Let's
That's
do it.
it? How much equity did
Yep.
they get?
How much equity did
The
the
king and queen get? How much equity did he give up? Did he get diluted? What happened?
Oh, he lost quite a bit. I think it ended up in court for a long time after the fact, but I think
Really?
he negotiated. Yeah, he negotiated for like uh what was it? It was 10% of all the revenues from the lands in perpetuity he would be entitled to.
Like
And
actually?
then Yeah, and then he would
Oh
have the
wow, damn,
option
good
of
fucking
buying.
good business
Right,
negotiation
good
there. My God,
negotiating. Yeah, and then
yeah,
he'd have
a
the
founder
option of
keeping
buying.
10%. Unreal.
Yeah,
What is
he'd
he,
have the
Jeff
option of buying
Bezos?
1/8 interest in any commercial venture with the new lands and receive 1/8 of the profits. So
Wow.
not bad. Yeah.
So I'm
Could you imagine?
guessing he didn't get to make all this money though, you're saying. Did something
Uh,
happen?
something. Yeah.
Hmm.
So he didn't. So he sets out right, and he's like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna fuck shit up. I'm gonna find the Indians. I'm just gonna keep sailing west until I end up east."
Okay. I'm just gonna keep sailing west till I end up because they knew the well, did they think the world was a globe at this point? Yes.
Yeah, they knew that the world was spherical, but they didn't know that there was a giant fucking landmass if you kept going west.
See, that's the first mistake. You got to know there's a giant landmass there. Okay, everybody
Yeah.
knows that. How did they not know that? I'm just kidding. I'm sure that the investors told them. You can't get. That's probably why they
Yeah.
rejected it. Mark Cuban was like, "Dude, you know America's over there,
Mark
bro.
Cuban.
Where do you think I'm from?" Like,
You're literally gonna you're gonna discover where I'm from.
if I scroll far enough, is there a picture of Mark Cuban on this page? I swear to God.
Uh yeah, I'm sure it's under like Cuban dis
Disambiguation.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, so Columbus is like, I'm gonna go around the world. He goes to Portugal, and they're like, no, fuck that. No one else is funding you. This is bullshit. We're not doing it. So he goes to Spain, and they're like, fucking, I'll take that bet. And they load him up on a ship, or three ships, right? Nina, Pinto, Santa Marina. Is that right?
Yeah, Pinta, Nina, Santa Maria, that's right.
Hmm. So so these were like legitimate colonizers, right? Like we throw around colonizer a lot, but the Spanish were like hardcore colonizing, yeah?
Yeah, man. It
That
was
was
the
literally
age.
it.
Yep.
Okay. So the Spanish colonized. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I don't get it. Keep going.
So he makes landfall on, kind of like modern day, basically like the Caribbean islands.
Okay.
And
Nice,
he's
nice
like,
vacation. It's lovely.
India.
Should we go to the Caribbean for the what did you just say? The the Caribbean islands? You want to go there for Columbus Day as like a, look at that.
That'd be cool.
Go to India for Columbus. Come back with saffron and other spices,
Yep.
textiles.
I'd be down. That'd actually be really funny if like every year you took a trip to India, like you took off work like a week and you were like Columbus Day.
Yeah, they're like, so why are you going to India? Columbus Day. I'm trying to finish what he started here. And then I end up accidentally just going to like New England. Like
Oh
I
man.
get on a flight and it has a layover over there, and then they just cancel the trip, and I go, well, I guess this is pretty Columbus, huh? Tried to go to India, ended up in New England.
um
When
yeah,
do
so
the
that
British
was
get involved? When do they show up?
the British?
Yeah,
Oh, long after that.
like what year?
I think it's in the 1600s where they come in.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
okay. See, I feel like this is like an area where I really should know a lot more. So I won't be sharing this episode with our lawyer, Willie, or Craig.
Right, Craig.
Yes. Um, go on.
Okay, so yeah, they make it to basically the Caribbean, and then they film the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and
Okay.
then the Santa Maria on Christmas Day in 1492, basically they wreck it, and they shoot a bunch of cannons at it to impress the natives. They're like, "Yo, check that out."
Wait, really?
Yeah,
So they destroy their own ship to be like, check it out. We're never leaving.
Well, they basically ran it aground, and they were like, "Nah, it's not going anywhere.
I
Fuck
see.
it up."
So they had like no way to get back?
No, they had two other ships.
Oh, okay. So those two ships could have made it back. How long did it take them
Yeah.
to get to America?
What, a couple months? I don't know. Let's see.
Well, so I because
He
I'm
takes
seeing
off. He
seeing
takes off in
first
August,
voyage.
and then he gets there in like October.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
So took him a while. So
Imagine taking a
yeah,
vacation then. It's like, how much time do you need off? Dude, several months. I'm going to the Caribbean. Well, I hope you make it.
you mean India?
Yeah, exactly. Bring me back some textiles. So there's a fourth voyage. So he went to to America. Like, well, this isn't. It doesn't look like they always are going to America. This time it looks like he went to Cuba.
Well, he
Um.
didn't really go to the U.S.
Oh. Well. Hold on. What? I thought he got
Yeah, man.
credit for discovering America.
Yeah, look at that map though. Like he doesn't really ever hit like Florida.
Yeah,
He
he
goes through
doesn't.
the Bahamas. He even sees South America and Central America, goes around Jamaica, but he never actually goes to the United States as it is now.
So did he not? He didn't. He didn't fuck over any Native Americans, or
Oh no, he totally did. There were a ton of people. He was just like
oh,
even on his first trip, he was going around collecting slaves, blowing stuff up to get more slaves.
huh?
Uh yeah, not a super nice dude.
Slavery, good, bad. If you had to just shout it out, what would you say?
Pretty good. Here, hold on. There's the door. Give me 1 second. Let's pause.
Okay. So, for those who are still listening here, as Steve is out. I'm here to tell you that I'm actually lying. I know more about Christopher Columbus than Steve does, and Steve actually just read the Wikipedia probably the other day and is bringing this up to show off. But I know all this stuff. I'm humoring him. I'm humoring him for the show. Does that make sense?
Is that
Do you
right?
get that? Oh, hey, Steve. What's up?
What's going on?
Not much. How you doing? So back to you were telling me about this thing I don't know anything about.
Yep, just reading the
Did you hear
Wikipedia.
that?
Oh yeah, I heard most of it.
Oh, okay. So no one was really at the door. You just had to go read it on your phone or something, right?
That's exactly what was happening.
So I didn't know that he really didn't go to like the U.S. though. I thought he like, I don't know why. I thought he actually got there.
No, kind of funny, right?
Yeah, pretty funny. I gotta say. So who actually went there? Was that
I,
the
I think
English,
it
the
was
British?
America Vespucci. Amerigo Vespucci.
Amerigo Vespucci? Is that why we call it America?
I'm pretty sure.
You've
Yeah.
got to be fucking kidding me. Really? That's so dumb. Why don't we call? Is that why we call? Well, Cuba, Colombo. I don't know.
Colombia is named after Columbus, and
Seriously? Wow.
yeah.
Good for him. Wasn't he like a piece of shit though? Didn't they take him? Did they take him back in chains? Is this true or am I like misremembering this from like third grade?
No, I think that's right. He was eventually arrested in like 1500 after one of his expeditions.
Yeah, I think I see this here.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
it
in
is.
early 1500, Columbus and Diego presented themselves to Bobadilla and were put in chains aboard La Gorda, Columbus's own ship. Damn, savage. Chained him up in his own ship.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what did
look
he
at
do? What
the
did he do?
paragraph above that.
Okay.
Columbus put down native unrest, brutal crackdown, and then paraded dismembered bodies of the natives through the streets in an attempt to discourage further rebellion.
Wow. I mean, I feel like that would do
Dude,
that.
that is
It
some
would
cartel
discourage.
level shit.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit, that is cartel level. Did
That's
Jeez.
hardcore.
That is really
Not to make
hardcore.
light of the cartels, but for fuck's sake.
How does that
Could
make
you
light of
imagine
them?
seeing that?
Are you saying like that's hardcore? Are you saying that is less bad than what the cartels do?
Nah,
Maybe.
I'm sure it's about right.
Seems on par. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I didn't know that. So they said, how did they get him back then? Like, how did word spread? Like, there was no phone or internet. How did they? Who made the decision to be like, okay, this guy's lost his freaking mind. We got to get him on a ship, and I get him out of here. How'd that happen?
I honestly have no idea. The Wikipedia didn't tell me all that much.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, I mean,
I'm
that's
assuming the people around him, like he must have had like some royal escorts or something, and they were like, "All right, dude." Like,
imagine
oh,
like
actually,
imagine being
here we
that
go.
royal escort who's like you're like in your house having like tea or textiles, whatever the fuck, and you're just like looking out the window and you see like Columbus running down the street holding dismembered body parts, and you're just like, oh well, guess guess we gotta train them up, bring them back. They are
Queen's
not
gonna want to hear about this one.
they are not gonna like this one.
Boss is gonna have my ass.
Well, it sounds like Columbus may have had someone's ass in his hand.
Oh my god.
Imagine that he's walking around with
Yeah.
butt cheeks. They're like, "What is that?" It's like, "It's a butt cheek." Like, you should have gone with an arm, dude. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, okay, I found out what happened. So basically, Columbus asked the court of Spain to appoint a royal commission to help him govern because he was just like kind of screwing everything up. And
Okay,
yeah, so the royal commissioner was like, cool, and they replaced him.
so, but then, okay, so then the fourth voyage was not him, right? This was someone else. No, it says
No, it was
Columbus
him.
with his. So he dismembered body parts. They bring him back to Spain, slap on the wrist, get back on the ship, and was this like a? Is he on like a performance improvement plan here? Like what's going on with this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. He apparently like fucked up this voyage. I don't know why they sent him back, but yeah, they were just like, all right, you know what? Take your brother, take your kid, and get out there, Columbo. And he
Jeez.
goes, and he like I think a hurricane like fucks up his ship,
Mm,
and he survives somehow.
wow.
Uh, and but he loses. Yeah, he loses pretty much his entire fleet and $10 million of gold.
Wow. Do you think that's like still down there, or do you think someone found that the $10 million of gold?
I have to imagine someone found it, right? And like counted it up, put it in one of those like gold counter machines, and was like, "Yep, that's 10 million bucks."
Gold counter machine. I feel like if no one's found it, we've got our Columbus Day planned. We're just gonna fly on down, 10 million in gold. Uh,
We return it to Spain.
they give us a reward of nothing. Did
They kill us.
did anyone find Columbus gold? Put an apostrophe there. Show everybody I know how to fucking spell and grammar. Um, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't know what to search. Did anyone find Columbus's gold? It's probably not a great keyword, but one day. So he did not get a sixth voyage, right? I assume that after you parade around a bunch of body parts, you lose 10 million in gold. That's kind of it. You're terminated, like equity gone. That's the end of the story for him, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much it, man. Like he did a little bit more exploring. He found some turtles, I guess. Uh,
Hmm.
he actually found it says that he may have sighted the Cayman Islands, which is kind of cool.
Huh.
Got some more storm damage off Cuba, and then he ends up in Jamaica. And then for a whole year, he and his men were just stranded on Jamaica.
Really? What do
Yeah,
they? What do they? How does that work? Were there people there?
yeah, yeah. There were a bunch of natives,
How did that conversation go? Like
but
Columbus was like, "All right, guys, we need their help. Nobody mentioned the body parts thing, okay? Tell if anyone asks, we still have $10 million in gold, cash money, and they can have it if they help us." I don't know how
And
you
then we're gonna
explained.
kill them, and then we're gonna take their body parts, and we're gonna dive in the back of the ship.
We're gonna eat one way or another. I
Yeah,
don't care if it's people. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
it's so funny how like that's serial killer behavior or cartel behavior now, but back then it was like, no, man, it's just Columbus, you know.
Back then, that was like, no, that's our dude. He's literally the CEO of these boats.
Maybe you've heard of Columbo-Co.
Columbo-Co. The ticker is
Yeah.
BODY for body parts.
Oh my god. So he gets stranded, and then he uses an astronomical chart to predict the lunar eclipse. All the natives were like, "Oh shit!" and he wins them over. And
Okay.
then some help arrives, and he gets out of there and goes back to Spain.
Good thing you got that lunar eclipse. I figured that otherwise you'd have to be like, okay, someone get me a hatchet. I'm taking someone's arm. There's no other way around this.
Hey, check this out.
So, so his legacy here. Have you read the legacy section, or do you know about this part? I'm kind of trying to think. What flat Earth mythology is this about? The world being flat today, or no?
I don't know actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Washington
Oh, okay.
Irving's
It's
1828
Yeah,
biography
no,
of
I did read
Columbus.
about this.
Okay.
The Catholic Church was like, look, guys, Earth is flat, okay? It's in the Bible, all right?
Right. Right.
And
Good book.
basically, Washington Irving wrote this biography of Columbus, and it popularized this idea that Columbus was kind of having to do this whole Shark Tank back and forth between Portugal and Spain and whoever would fund him, because the Catholic Church was like, Earth is flat. How can you, like, what are you just going to sail off the end of the Earth?
Right.
But that's not true. Like at that point, they kind of already knew the spherical shape of the Earth. They just realized that Columbus had no idea what he was talking about because they just thought it was all water, and he would run out of food and water like halfway to India.
I see. I see. How stoked do you think he was when he found land and was like, "Motherfucker, I found India." He was probably so
Stupid science
amped.
bitches didn't know what was up.
He was probably so amped, and then they were like, "This is India, right?" And they were like, "What?" How do they
And he just started
communicate?
cutting body parts off.
Like, this is India, right? No, give me the arm.
That's a leg from you. Anyone else got any shit to say to me?
Now, what country are we in? India. That's damn right.
Now give me your gold. I know when the next moon is.
Yeah, simpler times. So I like how the section of criticism of him is like 3 sentences, but brutality is like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, oh, criticism's a subsection of brutality's a subsection of his criticisms. He was also criticized for depopulation and his navigational expertise. I would say he I don't know if it's fair to criticize him for his navigational expertise when literally no one had been there.
Right. Right. Or that he still thought he was in the totally wrong place. But yeah, it's pretty wild, man, that what he was able to accomplish and how incredibly brutal he was in doing so. Like you really have to, be that kind of person to have an entire subsection devoted to depopulation that you were responsible for.
Yeah. I feel like
Pretty wild.
so overall he seemed like a pretty good guy though.
You ever watch The Sopranos?
Have I ever?
Do you remember when they were arguing about Columbus's legacy, and someone goes like, "Oh, that's worse than like what Hitler did to the Jews," and it like turned into this huge fight between like the one like Jewish token on the show and like the hardcore Italians.
I do remember that. Yeah, that's the episode with the like Christopher Columbus parade or whatever.
Yep.
That's such a weird episode. But yeah.
Yeah.
Should we wrap things up here?
Yeah, man. Do you have any other questions about Columbus?
I feel like we covered it all. This was all so informative. I didn't really realize how much of an entrepreneur he was. It sounds like he basically invented the stock market, and he was a savvy negotiator. It sounded like some of these explorations cost him an arm and a leg, huh? Not his, but
Oh,
someone else, huh?
yeah, definitely not his. He was big on the, hey, 10% kicks up to me. I don't care how many people die.
Give me one of the fingers of all the 10 you take off, and we're good.
Oh, man, what a crazy dude. And yeah, I think the best part is that he had nothing to do with North America.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I didn't really know that. So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll let you know how going and finding the $10 million in gold that he lost went, and we appreciate you listening. Good night.